Mame, I'm picking from first page. Me pasa Ghana ni bia follow me area way. Ejapade. Yebe you know 1 yebe timi aye bia no yebe ye. So ejapade restricted document ejapade. I learned this man is the Chebi chief. Okay. So mpacho let's go. Yambra overshare a contents noa. Me pacho ye scroll kakra wo ye Facebook page into bet me a follow so overshare the contents noa. About the economic and financial sector control. So economic and financial sector control. And you be dealing with the bullet points, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4 coming. Now, so yeah, starting with economic and financial sector control. So document where they came out to deny it. But no, let's start with the forward. They are no you want me to say sir.
We are being the same chico.
Sir, I Kojo Bonkruma is already making sure that about 90% of government advertisements go to the pro-MPP media. Same must be replicated in our next government. These lofty gestures will ensure that our friendly media houses consolidate financial reserves and use the power of financial capacity to outplay the NDC media in the ever-increasing competitive media environment. Yeno na ama yenkure fo bi eya na anibra bo omo so no mu kope kakra tafre. We nkwasiafo we wodo omo sika yeden. Kwasiafo pa say from presidency nkwasiafo say wodo omo sika yeden. Ya ne nipa bi kire no kra wo wiase a. Okay, so reserving electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. Yeno so agenda no omayo into sha kingdom amofa the whole Ghana omuma won't me no otonton na me say otwara nyen nenka ayi ofui ti say ayi akwa we wontumi we ofui we frequencies na yasesa regional capitals ye di amano nti ye no so omayo na mamenka same way they said something about EIB. And let me touch on it, quick one. Under the electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. Also, it is important to know that while supporting pro-MPP media would attract their loyalty and support towards us, getting out and out party members to establish radio and TV stations will be a sure bet. Osler has been instructed by Nana through Gabi to execute Plan A of this plan. And pinning the plan is to allocate seized NDC frequencies to our members. Even if the original owners are willing to pay multiple of times, she is to refuse their renewal since dominance over money is our focal point. Unim say, omu di biya me. Me frequency. Me makwa kutia. Tama sum makotua ma omaje. Eye renewal sikano omaje sikano ama me receipt and me credit receipt. No ma twa ma me say frequency no omo pe. Na me maka kire omo say me mama me lawyer kire omo aka kire omo say eye a friend say loyachi. Okay. Me maka kire omo say MPP ni bia no ode ni sabeka me frequency. Ye change power ne men nantia badwuma mu abebo se me ba. Asesa wo niema. Me kanene ama Akuffo Addo kromfo no ate. No mon kan kire ayi kwasea no otensi ye no. Say ayi adoche. Me Bobie Ansah obia ni obetimi afa me radio frequency. Me ma is the regional NCA a guy no. Maka kire ma send the message. so obi odin sabe ka me Bobie Ansah me frequency say me see amobese no aha no bia odin sabe ka say ye di Bobie Ansah frequency ama MPP ni ada mo beti se ato aba ma adia me ntwan ma afi na joma ama no ma issue statement say for frequency to me nante aba wadwuma m straight me ba wadwuma m straight and it says the frequency down no mutimi fam obia akoso body o mutimi fam obia nobody me nante aba wadwuma opon kromakura nim me penkola mo aba bu workers te say me yemma ye ba bu me maka kire omo no mo record fa ko madam pare me frequency
MPP ideology property owning democracy yeme preja padie yeme fumeja padie yenya ye hu yie na yenko and as part of the strategy my ideology is say government has no business doing business. Enti enye aban adwuma ne se obeye adwuma edisika beba eya ankra ne woso mo ye adwuma no mo disika edeba enti ukofa omampeni dada Akuffo amamu a de Akuffo Addo ye japade de omampeni Akuffo ye ni omampeni Akuffo create billionaires under his 8-year term as president. Na de omampeni Akuffo ye ni say most of the state institutions are na Oman Ghana etimi generate income de maye no omampeni Akuffo make sure say ya weekend ni nyina ya collapse ni nyina ena ya ma private sector in the name of private sector and individuals invest in that sector ena omo no sika na nka oman no betumi enya no kodi omunsam. One of them the transport sector no omampeni Akuffo ba na ye wo Ghana Airways ana ye adwuma omampeni Akuffo free so ni Ghana Airways bio ye told them ankra dwuma ku na e free so mo betumi amanage o man tumi amanage e na eguye enti afi kra de couldn't enti na wokọ airport residential bon say Ghana Airways for dano isi ho the same transport sector no omampeni Akuffo bae no na ye wo STC na eye adwuma STC no egu no yegu STC no ne hu say this private transport services ti say OA ni VIP ni de keka ka hu ni nyina no beteki sa business no eno mo erane even when Mahama buy o make sure say yensa and revive STC no ebesi na STC ntimi nyina na naso be because na nadanko Akuffo Addo emo buy no o mo make sure say STC ni asa prapram na pre say the be the private sector a transport sector now mainly MPP investors no they will make money
emfa mobra enti no omo ni ye omo su ni omo ban ade bia akwete se omo dwen se nantwie podua etimi ka de to even se ye kum nantwie awie nantwie podua ne be ka de to anka ne to ekoka konfonsem ebe ka konfonsem konfo de podua no ebe kura de akowo ma e de akosie no na de nantwie podua aka konfonsem kosie na me pacho e da so ti atesfasa so
forever
oh ni pe jimiama and sometimes me kind manual no for the first time it's something that I call a manual a government of a criminal syndicate of family and friends or more a manual. Now that criminal syndicate of family and friends no achem a friend is saying ofori penny fie no say wo hwe wo mo abusua no boni a wo de aye man we na wo hwe the manual na wo mo develop ye to make sure say omo be gu nipa binum hu fi omo be gu omo animu ase na wo hwe nipa ko na nipa kuo na omo no akotro sa bukuru ya from Akuffo Addo wo hwe nanim wo de hwe nipa anim na wo hwe na be de akire wo hwe gabi abebe dua bi hu mre no na wo hwe Kofi Asante be di atu ono kura mpa wo se wapo ono kura wo hwe na ne nan no a ehye paboa ni mu a wo hu ne yobia na wo hwe omukuro mu ho na no say yesu ye akwa bi obu si ne hene na wo hwe nipa bi pa omo awia oman sikadi akosi ahemfie na wo ahemfie no kura mutim no kura pa utim se ahemfie no kura ahemfie no kura ho ofechen wo mo wo hwe sa nipa kuei nipa tantantan mentimi mo nipa de ba to hwe o manim huhuhu tantantan ni adwene wo mutim ne nkwasea ne jimi adwene wo mutirimu a na wo manual a o de bu ma we ya eya na sometimes utimi tena wa na wakase nyankopon meda wase
Mame fana sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
You were till for aha PENDREAM TV mpacho. Onim say the news na talk for man the bro. News ya oba beti mpacho so wa wadin kire bia na so wadin kire fa. News bia ya present your platform we so for your voice note na fa send here. I was 0277 128777. The debate to PENDREAM FM so magana for nyina ti won kan. Yenko ti en story the bro.
Mame I'm picking from first page. Me pese Ghana ni bia follow me awia we. Ejapade. Yebe you know 1 yebe timi aye bia no yebe ye. So ejapade restricted document ejapade. I learned this man is the Chebi chief. Okay. So, Mpacho, let's go. Yambra, overshare a year contents noa. Me pacho, ye scroll nika kakra wo ye Facebook page. Into bet me a follow. So, overshare the contents noa. About the economic and financial sector control. So, economic and financial sector control. And you be dealing with the bullet points. Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4 coming. Now, so you started with economic and financial sector control. So document where they came out to deny it. But no, let's start with the forward. Omo be denying ye, say, oh, and no kre. Yanunti na yanemo kamwasem. Ni adia to de esi no. Near busa and one some say etisa na entisa. So this is the forward to our future made up of the present and the unborn. Omwa yango wamumpo. For whom this will ejapade will of a nation is being prepared to our foremost king of Orpani. The progeny spread across this world for whom and to whom alone this sacred document is prepared. Even one links, ye beneficiaries of whatever is contained in this criminal document. As the heads of Nana Apianin Kwaframa, whatever, Nana Kuntunkrunku, whatever. And for a penny, our people were never defeated in the wars of old. We were nobody's subject, and yet after 1957, we were made to live in the shadows of the descendants of people who never defeated us in war, while the Ashanti Kingdom was uplifted to put us in the shade. In the relatively recent times, the struggles and wares of J.B. Dankwa to restore Chiman to its original glory were thwarted, but he fought bravely to the end. Now, you see, this forward, obi a follow bibiano and shall say, more guys say that mad guy or Safmafu, more guys or Safmafu making statement say, Yaji independence. na asantefo nka ho yeah osafma that madman ono na yes ha and so already e ha say no a etwa picture kyerɛw so already e ha etwa picture e de kyerɛw because osafmafo one of their allies, though not from Chebia Himfio, but he's an ally. He's an ally. Into one no de sumano say omeka. Omu wini powerful from one. That was the first kwasiakeka efri omonumbaye Jimmy Keka. Nobody heard Akuffo Addo condemning it. Nobody heard National House of Chiefs condemning it. That look, adewe identity ba omemu, but na sa foolish man no waka sa asem no. And that is why I believe that we are santini now to aba ma Akuffo Addo a wajimi unim nyansa. We are santini and you ever supported the Akuffo Addo political career. Wajimi unim nyansa, you don't know exactly what is happening. We the typical Ashantis, we know. We know what is happening. And we have stood on our feet and fought it hard. So they picked Napo mami friachem or papa fria. Oh, they started invading your territory numuntam. So omu yusu Napo ne sa kwa kromfona na no buagum na Greek minister no. Ba no. Akoto so mami yachem. And omo Ashanti region. So they use them as Ashanti face. And this year running mate, omoka running mate when people no more cars and no more kobo Napodi. Napo ya Ashanti, Napo ya chimini. Oboko prempe. Oya chimini. Omo penetrating system no style BAB. And so read this document we second paragraph no. E confirm what Osafmafo asemo kan no. Na Osafmafo edi can make a statement when Jomama was in power. Or say omo no amu mineral resources no dodo no a omo mineral resources o masase so no. Entra ho ema abusua omo ni hwe emeche dodofo ade emma oman Ghana. Osafmafo Penny Yakwasia, eso catcher and say, okay, come Kwasia sem. Wenum Bejna Bontia, na omono Edwomo said true obisu say Wenum Eya Busian Papa mu. But deep down within them, they know when they enter into their rooms, in their chambers, in their closets, they know, they think evil about the other tribes, about the other people. Third paragraph. With the arrival of Nana in reference to Akuffo Addo, we see the rebirth of a second JB Dankwa who has come to the rescue. So now they see the second thief, the second criminal, second saboteur. Inti Akuffo Addo behavior clearly should tell you Tama and Nkrumah Epe independence. JB Dankwa was the one thwarting on my way efforts to get our independence. So yankai mama brofunu ngo kakra na yen serve as intermediaries between Ghana for and abrofono inti ye governors na ye jinkra ye dia cooperating enu o makodwene ho ni abeka de broni so kan akyere mo Nkrumah say no self-reliance now. We don't need them. Let them go. Nkrumah si vaku na JB Dankwa kromfo no na wonamase Nkrumah si akoso modam JB Dankwa kromfo no no na mase Nkrumah si motorway Black Star Line JB Dankwa kromfo no na mase ebino no atama zomama esi ayi ye friend say atoabo gas na kromfo Akuffo Addo no na mase yenye omusi UGMC na kromfo Akuffo Addo ne MPP fo no enye UGMC hospital enye omusi Gawes hospital enye Bank of Ghana hospital enye Bokom Emporium enye Rich hospital enye Kumasi Kejetia enye Ibrahim Mahama no mu kotu ayi galamsey wo edum enye Ho Airport enye Cape Coast Stadium enye Tamale Airport phase 1 enye Kumasi Kejetia market hwese nsuo to ana nsuo bam Wamu traits no that's how they behave. So the forward a what sa document we no a clear eye opener. Otu aswa ochro said wɔn bɛfa so akyekyere ɔman ne nsa agu n'akyi. And Mr. Obibia wotie me. Just pick out the foreword, read it carefully. Nabetia siye. Me pacho yemra main issue neso yan here with the economic and financial sector control. Yan here with the economic and financial sector control. Yeah, nanaya say Kotokraba market, Cape Coast. Yes, Kotokraba market. Almost anye. Bibianye. Now, introduction. I say the economy and financial systems constitute the nerves of every country. Indeed, political power and economic control are inextricably linked in such a way that any group that controls economic might of a nation essentially controls its political power. At the same time, political power is virtually a condition precedent to economic and financial power in our country and Africa as a whole. Our agenda for political dominance would hinge on our financial might. We therefore need overwhelming control of the key economic growth pillars of Ghana. Such dominance will assure significant inflow of resources to finance our political blueprint. Again, control of key economic and financial sectors will give unparalleled leverage in the periods we may not have direct political authority. With economic power, we could manipulate the system to generate an unfavorable economic situation enough to make any government of the day not directly under our control to become unpopular. The importance of a significantly large and stable financial firepower to finance the execution of our political and economic control project cannot be overemphasized. So these people want economic power. Enti krono no a omo bono de wiesika. The level a omo destroy o mine wiesika sa ni nyina no eye control. And now they are controlling the system. Yes. Yeah. At the end of but the level of the sika ewura system no mu no. the level of control. Omo pesika bebre eguo. Yakasa asem we wa ha. The reason why omo pesika na eguo ne say NDC winia, they will use the money to buy their way out. And not only that, they will use the money to disturb the system. They have money to sponsor boys. They will have money to buy arms. They will have money. And one more year sika kogu outside in such a way for Jomahama no so ombet nya jisikari nyina back no ebeye den papa. Almost say uwia ketua bi a yaji afru nsem anya den, but uwia bebre a yaji a ebibeka. Now, point 1 to phase 1 overview. Me pacho no what the kosro now the kosro. The first phase of the economic and financial sector control was to be implemented in the next first term of office. As we get closer to the end of the first term, we have set the ball rolling regarding the objectives set out in our first document. There have been difficulties, largely due to some pitfalls on our part. For example, the control of the electricity sector could have been handled better had it not been for the greed of some of the non-Achim elites we had included as cover. Me pamcho so bi akai PDS about time 2018-2019 2018-2019 Gabi ayi leak tape no sa audio no you tum na ya moncha o manfo ade krank o mo pe e de ayeyen. So PDS was the first attempt. O man bia hoden eye nyina ma hoden. Se mo nyina ma hoden to fo mo a eno ano no kaput finito. Enti ya nyire ye ho ne ye nsom. Eno se nkurasefo bi be fra wo mo. Sa nkurasefo no na ama mo antumi execute ade crop person mo ye. Again, the way some CSOs obtain vital information easily about the HIJACK project has resulted in them wrong-footing us and emboldened the opposition to jump into the fray. We should, however, find some ingenious ways to overcome the opposition. Ingenious ways, clever ways. Ingenious means clever ways, witty ways. Ompenyansa kwai biso, ompenyansa kwai biso, ompenyansa kwai biso na omunfa. So nyansa kwai no, how they can pay bribes, how they can pay bribes to the opposition element to stop talking about, because PDS me no ka say sika atiakam be $1.9 billion. Nobody is talking about it. They don't organize press conferences on it, but Skanakam is with them. Or say, changes in the leadership of most supervisory institutions, mainly the Central Bank and Securities and Exchange Commission, has allowed for other blueprints to be implemented. For example, the financial sector cleanup successfully eliminated most banks with hostile ownership. Hostile ownership. Let's do this. Yengu and Crawford banks. Banks. Ubusom say Heritage Bank. What happened? That candidate for jail, Anderson, Bank of Ghana, or say, ne problem you say. Sedu Agongo is not fit and proper. And yes, sir. The problem ni no. Okay, so we a leaked tape you are betting, you know, a leaked tape between Gabi.
You can't go below 40.
No, sir.
At all.
Yes, Gabi, see, we come far.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah. No, I can't go below the 40. I would rather prefer getting off and just getting something out of it and just getting off.
Okay, so I see.
It's just to demonstrate that this is for me and it's not for anybody. And that is something I want to just come up very strong on. You know.
Okay, so that's your kind of position. Then we have to let the others know and spread the sound of moving forward.
Okay, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So what's here? Audio we na be kai a overview no. Second paragraph. Or say, there have been difficulties largely due to some pitfalls on our part. For example, the control of the electricity sector could have been handled better had it not been for the greed of some of the non-Achim elites we had included as cover. Now, man, for a busa percentage or more per percentage. Your percentage way. You're not my grown tea, Jano. You're ma agrono a teacher. There no be a so mu use PDS edia be wiaye. Okwa also from a year. The next page after the overview, they talk about data bank. Data Bank Financial Services has been playing the role of transaction advisor in major government deals, while the enterprise group is the main insurer of government assets. A fact. Me pacho say Ghana ha ye wo say no SIC egu State Insurance Company egu enterprise group and a main insurer for government agencies, departments, ministries. Assets. Enterprise group eye kenoforiata dia. Data bank. Major government deals. Data bank engage them as transaction advisors. They take their way minority na kasa. Me pacho document we at the NHS Air Force. Is it not the role enterprise group is playing in your economic sector? Me pacho enya nokre. The raw data bank a play enya nokre. And the na document we Air Force. Document we the man Air Force. Okay. Our international proxies are also playing their parts in accordance with our broad objectives. The insertion of Kernel GVG into the telecommunication space and the implementation of Unipass at Ghana's key entry points are other notable successes of phase 1. Me pacho Unipass issue now. That corrupt, fraudulent Unipass deal. Ewo Ghana port. Me pacho Ghana for esiana NC ye. Edawa na se enaho. Kernel GVG eya wo mo fa so wi $7 million slow usu ekwa wi aso so mo chema se NDC fo bi nya bi o se de yo me I don't know, but the Kernel GVG Unipass involvement eya Ghana ni bia nim sam enti e de na ma document we eya documenta Air Force enyen kure. Otu aso say the digitization of payment process through the implementation of the Ghana Quick Response Codes, Ghana QR, is progressing steadily and is getting impetus from the desires of banks to entrench digital banking in response to COVID-19. The Japan Royalty Special Purpose Vehicle implementation has been slowed by COVID-19, but is one that must not be allowed to fail. So now, a Japan Royalties. Mokai say Japan Royalties issue no unity. Samukai, yantam or minor agudie. Anfanko siawrwa. No munye hu sika ketwa bi. Say $500 million. Na kwasie bi mefa ya agudie nyina nko because sa akromfo wei led by Akuffo Addo Bawumia person will render this country a poor country. Ogboro says, Bobie, enterprise insurance has taken over the private sector too. They came to my school some months ago to insure my teachers and I sacked them. Well, notable setbacks occurred in the power sector. As civil society and the opposition entities were able to galvanize enough public opinion against the renegotiation Ameri deal and the Power Distribution Services (PDS) takeover of the Electricity Company of Ghana. The takeover of Kotoka International Airport by the use of management agreement is also one that is facing considerable headwinds from the workers. The lessons learned from this must guide our execution of phase 2 of the economic and financial sector agenda. These are vital assets that we must pursue in phase 2. Our media and public relations wing must strategize to control the public discourse to ensure successful acquisition of these assets. So in their first 4 years, it was phase 1 now. Phase 1 would describe it for the first 4 years. In the first 4 years, no one to me and grab on money ye. But then they need to have a new strategy, a new plan. The phase 2 no. A year 4 more for nanano. After year 4 more for nananum. So phase 2. This stage is scheduled to commence from January 2021, given the high likelihood of Ghanaians giving Nana another term to govern this country. This phase would consolidate. So going to 2020, they know. Said now a cab fee. In the document way, a day in the woman, a ma document way, see what Ghana ha, a ma document way, a fraudulent document. Tell me, 2020, your board of Akuffo Addo lose. 2020, even what happened in Parliament was a clear signal. Mamentuaso. The stage is scheduled to commence from January 2021, given the high likelihood of Ghanaians giving another term to govern this country. This phase will consolidate the gains made in the banking, insurance, and capital markets sector. It will also see to the taking of significant stakes in mining, oil and gas, telecommunication, as well as marine and aviation. The area of general manufacturing and commerce, which was not part of phase 1, has been introduced here. Come back. Also, this phase will consolidate the gains made in the banking, insurance, and capital market. That's the financial service sector. It will also see to the taking of a significant stakes in mining. Inti yen yusu abujina poni yenkoye community mining na ya siasi abeya ejapa royalties na mosemo mayanya ya befa kwaye befa so atu gold ne enema no e de adwane afiri o man wem. Inti yemfa abujina po osano de right ketwa no Samuel Jinapo ya kire no krono bo nti yemfa ono ne yenyusu no community mining but ya ne yetu ade no ne de adwane afri Ghana ha oil and gas no matiesim on say your friend say to say omako fan crofo aba instead say ombe revamp no they are bringing in people ebie a private a crude refinery companies to no Kwame Nkrumah yesi ye ho no President Mills President Mahama baye through a word akon pagya to esi ho say they are bringing in private companies refining crude and they have now privatized Tor and obi dia ba no gold for oil sani ama we nyina wa document we mu sani ama we nyina e wa document we Jerry say look Bobie the Japade document is Akuffo Addo's playbook. Look at SMLGRA now taking over upstream oil and petroleum sector and also gold. These guys will face the anger of the people after they exit office. Yes. Voila. Go for a Dutch back or Germany question. Not tourists. How can a private company, SML, take over a Juma and Kesa GRA, any MPA for ye, and the oil industry, but the SML are here, and Akuffo Addo cousin, and yeah. Into phase 2 from 2021, and Yema Omo execute no take over. Yemura oil and gas industry more, they are doing it. Telecommunications, marine and aviation. Me pacho mo form information bra. Omu ra every sector. Omu dominate be bia. Tio. The area of general manufacturing and commerce, which was not part of the phase 1, has been introduced here. Manufacturing and commerce. Eyada na me kofa ne maba. Ye say yemfa bill enko to parliament. Eni se me pesa me kofa ne ma, e se me ko hunu ayi Jimini to say ayi Ketiamo. Na ono atre me quantity ni niama metimi afa e de aba oman no mu. Person my system no omo render obia hiani na obia akọ omo akọ sresre kwasi afosa. Now with the banking, insurance and capital market, that's the financial sector. Or say control of this vital area will need to be expanded from a 2-tier system to 3 tiers. Consequently, the strategies to be deployed in each of the subsectors will be along the lines of mother, that's the supervisory, biological children, direct control, and adopted children, indirect control. So you know the mother serpent. Then the children also taking over. Or Baba Church, the banking sector, no mother no mu. Oriakwaba. Okay, so we are going. But oh, phone so.
Well, my phone so, but we
okay. No, we me ya de kosa, ya de kosa.
Was me come there. I can say. Baby, our chassis and this is level elections, you know. We said me banana you.
Yeah.
We had a chassis and we just movie cow. Last week, na me can't NDC for him.
Yeah.
Me can't me the 2 na de atoa. Me the 2 na de atoa. When I was telling you catch the Ghana phone na so omo ye adwuma pa. What's my kind last week? Ene no. Okabo mu a.
Ongusu yo.
Okabo mu a. And twice mu.
Ongusu yo.
Pesa me de chassis.
Ene de Japade.
You very careful now, Nancy. You are the giant mother,
Okay, so the banking mother. Control of the mother is essential to control the industry. That's the banking sector, right? Maybe I send the document number. What's the name? Very good. So far, the head of the mother and his first deputy are strongly aligned to our cause. They are from our compound, and we perceive no threat from these two. The second deputy appeases the agenda advocate, and is also not a source of discomfort. In this vein, there is no need for changes in those places. It is however noted that the head is likely to reach. So it goes now. The mother, I need to say what you say.
That's the Bank of Ghana.
That's the Bank of Ghana. Yeah. The biological children. So what you say?
Deputies.
Then Yammo Adebisu under the biological children. So Essie. Oh. And I read, these are banks in which we should have controlling interest. The collapse of local banks with ties to the opposition NDC and other rival political factions during the cleanup operations undertaken by the mother was a resounding success. It facilitated the flow of substantial financial resources into our war fund through backflow of some of the advertised cleanup costs. The NDC has been poor, incoherently and consistently demanding detailed accountability and audit of the funds spent. True or false?
True.
That's right. The process the process further led to the establishment of Consolidated Bank Ghana. True or false? Currently, a wholly owned government of Ghana Bank and our proxies are well placed to take controlling interest when the bank is eventually returned to private ownership. And I think they have started the process.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so many say,
they have started the process.
Yeah, they know. Dr. Papa was in the Virgin Bank. You do for Virgin banks.
Okay. So now we know the bank, the mother, the biological children, and communities. Issues about ABSA is here. EcoBank. Nina Ewa Hase. Okay, insurance. Ewa. Issues about adopted children. Said ye omono NBA, but yen dealing with mining, oil and gas industry. That is 1.43 mpacho mining, oil and gas industry. Okay, so our mining as well as oil and gas strategies constitute a major plank of the blueprint for controlling the extraction of natural resources which God has generously bestowed on Ghana, particularly the Achim land. Jimmy. Growing environmental factors are rendering risky our use of illegal small-scale mining Galamsey as a source of financing our political objectives. There is therefore the need to roll out a more rigorous legal means of controlling significant stake in the legal gold value chain. Community mining. To this end, a cursory look at the approved concessions should be looked at. Asante Bediato is to lead the process to take over these concessions detailed below and consolidate them into the extended Ejapa LLC, incorporated in Jersey. So they have the companies, groups, enterprises qualified to operate here. Okwa Ashanti region, company Kalim Abdullahi Concentration Enterprise, they are there. Develop Peace Mining Enterprise, Omo Amansia West, Achman Ponwa, Bentes Enterprise, they are there. Okwa Central Region, Upper Denchira. Companies noa ewo ahanyina omo ye adwuma. They have given them license and they are working effectively. All these companies, they are there. Document way bibia nwe wo mu a eyentro. So omo listed companies no bebre amase West Okrampo de womo ye ho se ojafadum no bebre. All these companies, Cobra Gold Mining Company, Rosda Enterprise, Dia Mining Group, omunyina, they are there. Now, Oba bedru issues about funds about telecommunication and yanya no sisi ampacho yembi ono sisi a akonta mining one telecommunication. Also, we currently do not have much foothold in this sector. The critical role that telecom companies play in the lives and economic fortunes of this country require us to make a strong entry into the sector. The successful planting of Kearney GVG into the telecom sector has given us unparalleled advantage in terms of having a view of activity flow within the sector and the ability to monitor communication of persons of our choosing. The intelligence monitor communication of persons. Okay, the intelligence gathering power allows us to target and eliminate any potential threat from within the MPP, particularly those not inherently loyal to our cause and nanas, which include members of the opposition NDC. Say mimi there minimum ka say mimi Facebook wamuna e control mi Facebook o enti na mimi my manche mi account ana se enkomo so na ombetie se mimi enkomo na ombetie dia mimi enkomo yi eya minimum adwuma ya gabi ne Akuffo Addo mi ya enkomo entu dia utie bia adwadi fo nkomo ena mimi die bi ni nkobo fufuro bia na me production team nkomo a yedie na nkoda ne kakra bi so nkomo kakra bi asa mimi ni nkomo bia bio de mbetie bia no adwadi a me ne mo mo yeso de mo amoni tia Zion fo nkomodie mudibi boye Zionist fo mutebe pono so asori ayekoi mukobi mu awurade anim a mukoi ye anim nyina ti se me ko awurade anim na obetie me awurade anim ko enkomode a yane de no problem because minu mienu nyanya me ne boye ho ban ti se obetie ye awurade ya me ko nanim nkomo na opeso otia go ahead and listen. Na bo se me ni awurade so kasa ya oda ne ho adi said oda ne ho adi kire mo no da ne ho adi ediche komo fufuro bia ni ho bio komo fufuro bia eni wa beti but they are using it to monitor their opponents. They are using it to monitor their opponents into omo ateki a center stage. Oma take control. Hwɛ omu wie no. Saturday we taking control of a telecommunication sector no. Ade the babe ni. Start from the political terrain. Point 2. The political terrain. And minia meye we ni mawa then major amount now the ye we no ani aba me district assembly there no quick. The political terrain. Pacho obi a ofolo bi anyi document na o say as we make the final push for the EC registration, it is important to roll out our final onslaught to ensure that NDC eventually becomes a French party. Whereas we do not expect the Electoral Commissioner herself to blatantly cripple the NDC, we could deploy the other non-EC functions, such as the need to maintain law and order, using our people within the security agencies to frustrate NDC supporters from either registering or voting. Brian Champion will be key in this endeavor. Epacho Esiana NC. Esiana NC. Enti. Enye se omo nkrofo a womo ewo system no nko ahụ. They are also buying NDC Omo kura ya din be kura de mo renegades. Are they renegades? Saboteurs. What that they can buy them into they say almost see printing press and almost printing a binum newspapers, directing them how to, what to
put on the front page and what not to put.
Exactly.
Discuss.
Yeah. Into and this paper be. Any also John Mahama mua watching a form. Omu yusu samia okunum. Ena de a train for no. Almost as no more 10,000 Ghana a month. You are selling your conscience for 10,000 Ghana. Where Jimmy Abodam. So now the issue Atanos wohono. Now the issue no nya say ope Ghana ye and now ope a year NDC ye. But the issue was that look, a kwabia 10 biano, you should be in control. Senya wo dia ene yen say nti they say there ene me the newspaper be kwa maba o mianom normal print ya mame na me dia say John Mahama say nipa no wo fa wo mu gira wo say yenka NDC achievement ni yenka MPP achievement. They know NDC John Mahama have performed better but for their pocket to almost start 10,000 Ghana a month. Also, crowd are diabetes. Untime yenam. Untime chuanum. And so be sure minos na day. Na ke wona na waye nyanga sa na msese ono a kodia benfu aduane. Ye moska. Ye machet comport kofa kaus uni ahoto. Uni ahoto. Me kwa bna me wa hoto pa we mi free na aka me 150 makoto akoko le ya din ni bi 95 Ghana and mesti mu dia she fridge mu won kate mu nkruma ochina matoko nkunte asa sorry ano pa maka ne troka nwa me nkruma asagu so nyadua kakra matwitwa eguso obeba akwankwa hi enu am teme ho twa betie ne mfuruma ye friends enfifire timi motuom ne bi timi pan mu mi di mi nsa free mu na me ko Facebook ko kan kwase asma kire Akuffo Addo efiri se bi wa hotom me no bia ni asem bia wona wudidi enso wo fon ya print newspaper man won so fon adwenjire da so boni nti onipa ni ahoto boni di onipa beko hell ubeko akwaje chit ewo airport airport akoyika ubetwika no na ni ahoto esi no so ana ada ni ja na ehihyew petro ni mika bukura nyame adumunti miso mi esia eso ebo cool efrise minu obia ni turumuhwe obi ansori mebusam se na no sika na adwuma no wanyo meni obi ani ho asem uni principles ka akronfo sei awudifo sei undi wo mu achi enye ka prekra mfiri o moda akronfo asefo tse Akuffo Addo nom o mu sika kra anka di kwa sei wakono akronfo criminals o mamboyefo o mu sei o man Yen dealing with almost issues about the party, the MPP party. Also, the youth and women's wing of our party remain our weakest link. Every effort must therefore be made to get our national organizer to fill in the gap. Same applies to getting Esler to assist the women's wing. The substandard tag on Nana Boachi seems to be a perfect description of who he is. Per the earlier assessment made by DM Oforiata and co-writers of the August 2019 report, this is a tag we should actually shroud from his personal knowledge. In the meantime, we should keep up assurance of broad smiles towards him until he's gradually waned from us. He pales into insignificance in comparison to George Opariado of the NDC. It is therefore important to avoid a one-on-one debate between our youth organizer and that of the NDC for the time being. In the start time, I'm going to be national youth organizer.
Yeah, the document is something that came before the 2020 elections.
And that
one came before 2020.
One, yes, but
this one is the friend is an advancement of the entire
document.
Plan, no?
Yeah, sent to Ombema first phase.
Yes,
first phase no 4 years no.
Yeah,
things they were able to achieve and the things they were not able to achieve.
So as of now, they are doing what is beyond way. Post this document.
Yes,
there is another document.
Yeah, but no, but when no is telling you the 4 years and Nema or Mashisha Guo for the 4 years.
Yeah.
What you say? And Nema or Mashisha Guo for the 4 years.
Yeah.
So, time now or assessing and a B strength no. Na substandard na abaso.
Very substandard.
Na substandard no.
And it's still substandard.
We saw be any so Jimmy.
Oh. I'm friend saying DJ Caleb.
Or they say DJ Caleb.
Where Jimmy Chekuru.
Yo. So
free.
One more national organizer. Nana B. And you the channel no. On Canada Japan. About to win in the best chess document we at San on Canada Japan. Or see a very good asset. The party must, as a matter of need and plausibility, defend him going into the 2020 elections. He has the utmost control over our action troopers and all the former criminal elements who are paused for the final push. In addition to his deep pocket, his financing of the grassroots affirms our dire need of him at all costs in the 2020 elections. While conceding his magnanimity towards the base, his penchant for being a loose cannon in attacking persons who should be left alone is sometimes worrying. As a result, he must eventually be weaned off. As our project reaps dividends to need less and less of his funding, his self-confessed unbridled quest for the personal wealth is a potential threat to causing us to suffer needless exposure. It is important for a dossier to be prepared on him and deliberately kicked through our friends in the opposition. Our friends in the opposition. Our friends in the opposition. Wonderful. Who will call for his prosecution? Ken Opoku is to revise the 2016 plan and progress to his dossier for this purpose, but should not be filed under any official seal. In two cases, 2020-2021, Canada Japan started making noise say omo person mu jaili no. Okay. Yeah. He started making noise say omo person mu jaili no. But enya de beba so. Canada Japan clashes with the presidency. Gabinum Kenoforiata clear a document with him. On Samia Oku is a very much Samia is a very good material with excellent political prospects. His loyalty to Nana should be acknowledged to encourage him to repeat his 2016 efforts of getting to the grounds to mobilize the youth. It is imperative, however, to watch his seeming rift with and Kojo Oponkroma. His loyalty beyond the terms of Nana cannot be guaranteed. Hence, the need to go all out and prop up Kojo Oponkroma in a subtle way. Why name say Kojo Oponkroma ne Samia Kudi esiani? Obiani.
Emma Kojo Kra going to emanation.
Okay. It may be instructive to prepare pieces of information regarding his encounters with the women, which appears to be in excess in his case. Samia Okunomo Ekano. On the Bodaminu, Obefa Kudi. The Odagotamu, Obefa Kudi. Ebia Otasetase. Sa.
Oyo.
Also, it makes him vulnerable to blackmail as a national organizer and key campaign person. It is perhaps important to limit his access to the inner circle and cordon him off gradually by introducing Mustafa Hamid during the final bouts of the campaign. This will in essence shield Nana from any damage arising from the leaks of Sammy Ewuku's escapades. A key point, however, is a much dangerous flirtation with the Akuffo camp, an aspect which raises serious questions regarding the need to contain him. So on Sammy Ewuku, want to quick one on Sammy Ewuku.
Offer. I am here said then I will share Japa.
We have done it.
And producer said the man said
before.
We have done it, but
yes, the entire Mikasa say we a whole blueprint of Akuffo Addo and Achem or more empire or more building. Now a book of content is about say 39 page bia so efani pa baako and we propose me push it to your producer. Nimsa feed the corner we. You see 2024 more. Every day bia no dey say untimi nya every day every week bia no let's take one person, one page. Na yen discuss it. Because ye kaka bosu bebra e viewers no and our listeners no. E do small more.
And I just said me the topics ni bi ba o show no so.
E do no do. Enti wo dey every day bia na
you discuss no ho.
Wo dey to a fa baako one page fa ka ho. Na eno nya like morning sermon. Oh, ewie bia ni akyerechim because on says see a waka ya wasafo mafo waka eye omoye so mpeso mubugu asante ahini asante ni peso mugu no banks peso mugu no eye Canada Japan Samia Wuku.
So these things ye niema esi we are just reminding the listeners
that do I say wako party na di aduane bebiri abeso se buffet na hia na obedi. But ye ma kwan na udi we ne wo me no akoda
no say aba buffet
wa bia onam ehim from abone adechi a no say we baako no say adi na kautim timi pacho. Anyway on Samia Wuku asembia no was a book we mo a na ensiye
the messenger board.
Yes asembia ni ho a asemo maka bia esi die ensiye no susu besi. Na some of them no book we liki ye no na enya happen kra me yehu ye but omo kon sa pepepe it tells you say ade ayede kon sa pepepe. Indeed yes Samia Wuku whether I like it or not Samia Wuku e wo grounds when people mu papa Samia Wuku na etete na nabi na nso am say na nabi na adwene wo from 20 me ensua emfri Samia Wuku until still Samia Wuku wo national organizer nyina wo free national executives no kra no Samia Wuku still have to go down there no koboa ma Samia eye na nabi eye na organizer or ye as a youth organizer team because even the national organizer adwuma o nyina no de bia na Samia Wuku no aneboa no no atumi aye and it tells say Samia Wuku is very influential MPP for nankasa enim nemom tiase wo mo kan ye omo say omo nya sure say after nanado no Samia Wuku loyalty ebe remain the same because omunim do omode aye no omo say once Samia Wuku ye influential MPP in opposition most of the demonstration organizing was done by Samia Wuku and omode je power 2016 omode power 2016 Samia Wuku extra influential na ye pe obi a ye de bejujuna no ene kofa kojo opon kroma ene di kojo opon kroma bae ena from my so more direct traffic ni nyina to kojo opon kroma se de be ya be se Samia Wuku authority na chese onya sa animonyam no se kakra no na ye reduce powers no ye wi ani adiscard ya to atwene na chese kojo opon kroma ene de ko eno no masuja e de so omuntem ene ntokwa so omuntem bola suja no fo ase yeko ase yenko batehye ho. Indeed we hear Samia Wuku a won Samia Wuku kan krofo a omudi kai o man first said ya for Dr. Muhammad Bawumia no because say ni loyalty to Nanado Dankwa Akuffo Addo dabi because when we send another Akuffo Addo regime and I say that Achim regime no is coming to an end. And Dr. Muhammad Bomia said you be onim hwe sa no or politics mu no. Wo don ho bɔ no a wo benya more runti samia okukɔ na no nya campaign manager. Was the campaign manager. Ona ye adwuma ni nyina. Na bi kura sinka Dr. Muhammad Bomia and consider no for running mate. Ananka ni din wo soro pa de tie ne say afi no obenya 40 years wonyanya 40 years. Enti afi no oba benya 40 years. Enti uko choose na as a running mate emfa because Ghana constitution is say obi o running mate die oba vice president automatically we president. And na Ghana presidential age is 40. And enti ho ne disqualify nemum onko hyase ewo baby awoko na mpi no. Enti woko this term. Oko 8-year term ni bedusu no. Sabre na abisoko.
Okay.
Na say odem. Enti yeso hwe boato aba no ma no.
No so hwe
to no Samia Okuna smart. And indeed, what did the next year, Dr. Muhammad Bomia campaign, whether I like it or not, Samia Okuna dimon tentamai. See a befa na po, see a fan na po, see a befa a Pentecost chairman. Samia Okuna, but and another no, those are Samia Okuna influential no. Now on yet that too much influential to the sense or no crano have to be so on you have to have a say.
In fact, Bobie Ansah pa MP.
Very good. NLA very good. Where one of the politicians are. They be amoka so one more bra because wanya Juma Bobie Ansah or joining politics. Very good. But when it comes to political appointment, any achievement I want make it MPP Akuffo Addo government now. You bet me I can say or merit it because we be everybody. Any majuma Samia Uku even when all free national executive where so unko be mukrano people were still pushing say omra no me contest and there's no position in the NPP national executive position as somebody like Samia Uku so contest here or win and to apply the card ye
but say omu jaima omu ko primaries Kwapem no fa enen ke be hu achi
oh that be
anyway but you know
I want him just 1 second nipa no no ye MP oba no
wadwane
won say Samia Uku bana ne hu ton so no wadwane eno abehye o kan kwe enough entinyo obi na pamu no
na
ono na kwa
ono na asem no de yem fanto because yeah when I send me documents be from Kwapem no yeah okay. Yeah, let's leave. Now the Rollins factor. So they mentioned the John Boadu factor, the Rollins factor, other minor political parties. Let's touch on the religion and chieftaincy. The Ghana population is largely made up of Christians. We must bear that in mind, in all our activities. It is therefore essential for the government to take an interest in the relationship between the government and the church. It is further evident that a large number of discerning Ghanaians are not comfortable with the proliferation of mushroom churches and their activities. This is visible in the large support and condemnations received by Kennedy Japan when he declared war on the church. Government can easily capitalize on this and quickly come forward with legislation to regulate these churches. Immediate examples include Rwanda and will bring an end to the vulnerable women who have suffered years of abuse at the hands of these mushroom pastors. These issues notwithstanding, it is important to identify the profile some church leaders within the country as they seem to perpetrate an agenda against the political tradition. They must be properly contained and muted. Critically, Duncan Williams. So now they are coming to describe Duncan Williams. His love for money is not in doubt. A material inducement and commercial gains make him vulnerable to market incentives. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His relationship with
good nose for the highest bidder. What do you say?
He has a good nose.
No, just the highest bidder.
I got Tiska.
The Sika Kessie. See, baby, Sika Kessie.
And also, Otiska and the first word, God of Shalom, the Almighty. He has come down to visit me today. And in that night, he told me that my son, a man, will come here early in the morning, 8 a.m. Congrats. Before I woke up, I couldn't see anywhere. I couldn't think about anything. Then I heard somebody knocking on my door.
No,
I said, oh,
man.
Jehovah, you are almighty. Kwasi akeka nkwa. Kwasi asem. Yete. Okay, so let me go on. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His relationship with leading members of the NDC is an open secret. It is therefore important to encourage the EC chair to build better relations and frequent his church. Kwame, what's it? Okay, his place as discreet as possible to seek spiritual direction and make firm pledges of a commitment to a transparent election. And the what was that? Omubeyi 13 or 15 eminent advisors. Yeah, to a year easy, no.
Advisory committee.
Duncan Williams, Ekaho. Omu Yusu Jane Mensah to bring Duncan Williams into the game. Bishop Ajiansare, quite visibly an NDC sympathizer who only appears to shake or speak whenever MPP is in power. He must be watched carefully. Our men within his inner circles have done pretty well with accurate briefs, but it is time to add an open, muscular approach. The respect and esteem with which he is holding by other leading pastors may need to be marred by recruiting other high stage pastors to launch vile attacks in some ingenious ways. However, the president must desist from directly responding to him as advised by our people within his inner circle. So, Bishop, I just saw easy for no. Oman Franca, Sam Cranchankra. He is perhaps even more visibly a surrogate of the NDC who has cleverly reconciled his aspect to appear as a national Christian. A constant eye watch and monitoring of this man is required with specific efforts to contain his commercial interests, which have been identified. Otabel, even though sympathetic to us, information suggests that the closure of Capital Bank has somehow affected his loyalty to the MPP or Tunana. Brother Kenoforiata's account of his demeanor on the night before the announcement of the closure of Capital Bank indicates he was not too averse with our decision. The strategic implication of Ken meeting with the pastor and subsequent feedback from his inner circle points to the impression that he may what? Opt for an NDC replacement. Should that happen, it will be seen as a declaration of war by one of our own. We should be reminded that an insider fighting you is more dangerous than the sworn enemy. In any case, he appears to be more aligned with the Akuffo camp. Intelligent efforts should be adapted to root his church following against his person. So he defect. So on Otabe, but Otabe the eminent advisors no.
Ono minim the bad minim say national secretary national cathedral no.
No, that one he resigned.
Baso koka ho. Actually no who say adwuma ne ahyehyɛ.
On chief imam, government must prepare an exit plan for the national chief imam. Also, my kind. This has become necessary in view of the fact that the demise of his deputy has created a vacancy. The intense lobbying by other Muslim leaders should be taken into consideration. So
the eminent, advisory committee,
why?
It was made up of Mr. Justice Emily Short, Francis Emily Short, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, chairman Peace Council at that time, Sheikh Osman Nur Shaributu, National Chief Imam, Mr. Sam Okudeto, the unlearned lawyer, Nana Ato Dazi, Council of State, and Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Presiding Bishop of the and General Overseer Action Chapel International, Dr. Yao Ba, General Secretary Trades Union Congress, Reverend Charles Gabriel Palmer Buckle, Reverend Mr. Afemoni,
Omoya say,
DJ President
Gifty Afenidazi, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Mate,
Mate Umbi.
Mr. Tony Forson.
Okay, so Nana Mamenya Chief Imam
Drew Osai.
Mamenya Chief Imam, the government must prepare an exit plan for the National Chief Imam. This has become necessary in view of the fact that the demise of his deputy has created a vacancy. The intense lobbying by the other Muslim leaders should be properly handled in the face of the promises we have made to each of them. Government will need to find a discreet way of influencing the process of the appointment of the next National Chief Imam as well as the deputy. The candidates for this should be well-verified party sympathizers who are likely to stand with the party in crucial circumstances, as has been with the current Ashanti region Imam.
So you know what happened in respect of his life. Okay. I was have a patch on
Ashanti regional chief imam.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know ye person follow niema na de ade ba wie oba omia so no ani a kira asem no mo atimi ahunu sese mo anyere mo ho a problem beba. Okay. So Nana has shown his love for the Zongo community, creating the Zongo ministry and establishing the Zongo Development Fund. This is both remarkable and historic in the annals of the political history of Ghana. By this singular act, Nana has taken bold steps towards breaking the NDC monopoly of the Zongos. This project is a must if we ever intend remaining relevant within the Zongos. Finally, cognizance has to be taken for elevating over 50 chieftaincies to paramountcy status. We need further elevation of such chiefs and redefining our very statehood, for which the new, uncelebrated, old, powerful kingdom is to be restored. It is very instructive. Looking at the broad coverage of the Buakwa, Kotoku, and Bosome, we must critically guard against any such issue of the JSC and Megacha ruling of 2019. In 2006, Kotoku for no press conference say Buakwa for now for Mujimi ampe baby and yina. Aseme besino enye asem papa. Okay, so the national situation as regards the media landscape. Let's do the media. Quick one. The media has remained a veritable weapon in shaping public opinion and agenda setting strategy. We therefore have to wage an even more valiant war in pursuit of our grand scheme to capture and dominate the media landscape. If our overriding ambition is to be realized in this regard, we have to adopt a prolonged approach, which making sure that the critical mass of the nation will not connect the rapid media capture with us. Phase one. It's so sad to say you know be no I want to hear white. So phase one, we envisage that the role of Kojo Oponkroma will continue to be crucial in our quest to dominate the Ghanaian media landscape. He was super when planted around some big weights of the SY Mills Mahama government. Okay. While at Joy FM, his secret recordings from the then ruling government illuminated. Oh, I didn't know you free or no. Okay. Illuminated our discussions and greatly influenced our strategy, which culminated in the landslide victory of 2016. So upon Kroma wo Joy Nyano, no record wo. What can I say? Upon Kroma, Ewo Joy. now one of the close allies pa Randy Abbey. Randy Abbey was seen to be at then say Atamils Assemble. I was said the Randy Abbey si Kanafa. Say Jomama Assemble. I was said the si Kanafa. And almost formal click be Kwaku Baku Randy Abbey Sefa Kainum friends of John Mahama. But they were not friends to Atamils. And that was where the war of Armageddon. Because now as a Miniko you the whole face almost squarely. Paper because they were able to use their powers anti multimedia. Yanko meet Yamako Yo Ponkuma and Kabia Mame da. Debia me an enemy. But no more formal sa kabano. And that is why they were able to plan and get me out of multimedia. Because na menchima womo kra. Na dan de Randy Abbey no from Peace FM. Komu kume. Na brother no me be wo mu ukwada no me wo mu Friday. Nyere jojo no omo born by 1,000 times. Nyere jojo. Because at least you Atamils back free mu. You understand? Yeah. And you almost plant upon Kruma all those things now or pick it. Oh. Anyway. Last point. Or say no wonder that Gabi made every effort for the young man to be promoted to the office of a substantive information minister. This is more so when we cannot vouch for the credibility and loyalty of Dr. Mustafa Hamid. At crucial times, Mustafa was the longest serving spokesperson of Nana. But we were shocked when Nana caught him stealing campaign cash in such critical position era where we were suffocating from inadequate resources to prosecute campaign. Mustafa Somo Yinifrio.
I say Okowieska.
Mustafa Hamid.
I Okowia parties, Okowia campaigns.
Owieska.
I was born the car glass no Owieska no.
Use microphone.
Obeka says cano. A friend is saying Ayira and so no we are. But Akuffo Addo still kept him because he knew that he was a very good thief, clever thief.
But you need free in chain.
Yes.
And now more who say ye Mustafa Hamid free on. This is the reason.
Yeah.
Okowieska.
Yes.
And ya Mustafa Hamid kokono.
Yes. Ofrino. And your koko.
Ofrino.
Yes.
Only Okowieska no.
There's nothing wrong in telling an albino is an albino because
sure.
they are good at knowing themselves.
Some kaso Bobie sad dark boy no.
Yeah.
No.
It's their color.
Yeah.
That's why the chairman of the albino
Fuamoni. Okay, so it is now obvious that Mr. Nkrumah has an ultimate presidential ambition. We have a duty to protect him and to assure him of our support for the future. The support will get him to commit to the media capture again. It is satisfying that he has been part of our manifesto drafting from 2012 to date. In the next government, 2021-2022, Gabi has already convinced Nana to move Kojo Nkrumah to the communication ministry to continue the clampdown on the opposition, as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increase his personal financial muscles for his presidential ambition. So radio market in Ghana, Omo Aye, chat mpacho kosruye, Omo Aye chat no. Enti, owa ubonsa owa radio gold for no, omunim. Hontokra se onya message free upon Nkrumah order.
Upon Nkrumah be a minister. That was 2017. December, I invited show hosts and producers to the Ministry of Information, where they were press sorry.
I see.
That was 2017. So I don't know. Because no. me should say the outcome now good among sir. Or thinking at least we have opened our doors to you. We are going to see some level of improvement to be. But anyama still an cost the backlash. Then on by number 2 mukra, but 2.
Okay, so Oshasa yeah. Media stations, that's the medium audience concentration. No, they decided to use Multimedia Broadcasting Limited, controlling 26.2%. Despite group of companies controlling 16.3%, Omni Media Limited, City FM controlling 4.7%, Casbin FM Limited, that is in Kumasi, controlling 3.8%, in all 44.8%. Then they have most popular news sources. Omo digital media family into omo peke sa enkrofo we on sa groups now kojo upon kromo say while our team aims at total dominance of the media architecture in the nearest future, there is a need to have a generally good appeal in the media. To this end, we have observed that the discourse in the media has been generally fruitful. This has not happened by accident. Upon Nkrumah has successfully recruited about 80% of top journalists, including some with adversarial tendencies towards us. His weekly covert meetings with them to plan the issues of the week have been exceedingly impactful. Yani na ma omo sha say so omo print e bi newspapers mo no. Say pro NDC media and newspapers no. Dom kwa akosommo.
Forest Hotel.
Forest Hotel. No more print newspapers. No more catch on mo de mo no mo na mo ye professionals.
Akosommo
order. Okoto yakamia.
Omunyina.
Nipa bebre say. Also the roles of Kwaku Bako, Paula Dumotre, Kwame Sifakan, OB of Multimedia cannot be underestimated. It is for this reason that Nana nearly sacked Kandapa for delaying the release of their monthly allowance of 1 million Ghana cedis. 1 million, which is 10 billion. Since the national security budget does not go through the normal scrutiny, this group has to be assured of an enhancement of their regular emoluments in our next government on condition that they work hard for our anticipated victory in December. So you get it? Then that is where this was leaked in 2019. Okay, so with the media, quick one. With the media, media now for the
media.
Okay,
because I want to take it from a general.
Okay, Eslo on closure of opposition media, we score Esla also 70% for her execution of the agenda to close down. So Eslo Usu, mubetimi document no. What person you be able to PDF to bet me in the Aquachewa Bushia for now no more can kai. We score as low as 70% for execution of the agenda to close down through NDC radio and television stations, while we praise her for closing media entities such as Radio XYZ, Capital Radio, Munti FM, and many more. She scored some low marks in the implementation of the strategy. We expected her to leave Radio Gold from the list for obvious tactical reasons. She could have waived their debt like she has done for our friendly stations such as Ash FM in Kumasi. She could have been fired for the avoidable backlash in strategy, but for her long-standing role as Nana's protege.
AKA Nana Inchimu.
Phase 2 of media control. Joy 99.5 FM and others. There is no doubt that Joy 99.7 FM and the multimedia group will remain an industry leaders in the communication sphere of the country. While relying on them as a veritable ally, anti-MPP agenda by some of their staff does not portend well for us. We were left with no choice but to have used our boys to threaten Manasseh Azuri Awuni. While his publication in the past inured to our political benefit, he has overstretched himself in his attempt to assume an air of neutrality. He was influential in a historic victory, but his constant attacks on government culminating into the militia documentary was most unfortunate. Elaborate support to our friendly media. Lessons born out of the Manasseh debacle cannot be glossed over. It proved that we cannot overly rely on a seemingly friendly media to take total control of the communication space in the country. But also, emu no mo de be asase radio no, and no pushi Joy from 99.7 to 99.5. I'm not about 99.5. And I'm the call 99 closer. That's 2 bar. Exactly. No Pia Joy a corner him and no de assassin ever share. The NCA waivers we offered the Kansas City media and other party affiliates over their license must continue. In 2021, Kojo Ponkruma will present a comprehensive list of other radio stations that must be recruited into this fold. We have to issue receipts covering the next 10 years as being payment of postpaid renewals. Professor Adai has already received instructions from Nana to give tax waivers to the media entities that will be submitted to him. Sure. Well, they are no you won't be a challenge.
So we have a senior chico.
Sir, I
bet.
Kojo Bonkruma is already making sure that about 90% of government advertisements go to the pro-MPP media. Same must be replicated in our next government. These lofty gestures will ensure that our friendly media houses consolidate financial reserves and use the power of financial capacity to outplay the NDC media in the ever-increasing competitive media environment. Yeno na ama yenkure foi bi eya na anibra bo omo so no mu kope kakra tafre. We nkwasiafo we wodo omo sika yeden. Kwasiafo pa say from presidency nkwasiafo say wodo omo sika yeden. Ah, ya ne nipa bi kire no kra wo wiase a. Okay, so reserving electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. You know, so agenda no mayo into sha kingdom amufa the whole Ghana omuma won't me no tonton and I'm say otwara nyen nenka ayi ofui ti say ayi akwa we won't me we ofui we frequencies na yasesa regional capitals ya di amano nti ye no so omayo. Now, Mamenka same way, they said something about EIB. And let me touch on it, quick one. Under the electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. I say, it is important to know that while supporting pro-MPP media would attract their loyalty and support towards us, getting out and out party members to establish radio and TV stations will be a sure bet. Osler has been instructed by Nana through Gabi to execute plan A of this plan. And pinning the plan is to allocate seed NDC frequencies to our members. Even if the original owners are willing to pay multiple of times, she is to refuse their renewal since dominance over money is our focal point. Unim say, omu di biya me. Me frequency. Me makwa kutia. Tama som makotua ma omaje eye renewal sika no omaje sika no ama me receipt am credit receipt no ma twa ma me say frequency no omo pe na me maka kire omo say me mama me lawyer kire omo aka kire omo say eye a friend say loyachi okay me maka kire omo say MPP ni bia no ode ne sabeka me frequency ye change power ne men nante abadwuma mu abebo se me ba asesa wo niema me kane ne ama Akuffo Addo kromfo no ate no mon kan kire ayi kwasea no otensi ye no say ayi adoche me Bobie Ansah obia ni obetimi afa me radio frequency me ma is the radio NCA a guy no maka kire ma send the message so obia de ne sabe ka me Bobie Ansah me frequency say me si amobese no aha no bia odine sabeka say ye di Bobie Ansah frequency ama MPP ni ada mo beti se ato aba ma adia me ntwan ma afi na joma ama no ma me issue statement say for frequency to me nante aba wadwuma m straight me ba wadwuma m straight it is a frequency ni da no mutimi fam obia akoso body o mutimi fam obia nobody me nante aba wadwuma opon kromakro anim me penkola mo aba bu workers te se me yema ye ba bu me maka kire omo no mo record fa ko madam pare me frequency alaila be bu se de ya me si MPP ni bia nu a me obetumi use me frequency me ana me frequencies ni nyina me nim ebia numbers me wo bia document go nobody obia no obetumi use me frequencies e okrum ha wodo sa be ka me frequency aso say we MPP ni waso ama hu say sa number we me dia na ye dia ma na wo waso na de ye adwuma didie ekoto ekate ye nkatekwai etwibu tuo ato akodnam hey masa me de MPP ni for Akuffo Addo nipa for ma dia me nko police station me can be behind this we ni me nko police station e be ye physical omunim sa omo mama dia na ho hwe yo sa kama dia ubehu now omo be can be about EIB or say she is also supposed to reserve majority of the new frequencies to party members who are loyal to Nana. Due to the backlash in the revocation of radio and TV licenses, she must, this time around, identify party members who are already in the media business and or those that the public sees as already rich. Gabi and Chemawun to me are the part of the plan A. Inti almost see radio stations across the whole Ghana. Which continues till 2024 when the Nana completes his 2 terms. It is important to know that Kojo Ponkroma will, among other strategies as the next communication minister, allocate frequencies which are close and can interfere with pro-NDC brands such as Class Media, Power FM, and the EIB platforms across the country. In the idea for more the entire, there be a normal in a Kwabna Accra FM as a Obi Air Bonum Fem. Accra FM as a Nkrofobi Dim Komo Echiri. Accra FM as a Yensheda NT Adieni Ye. Yachira mo ewo ejapa document no free ekro obi amfra mi musa me ho asem bio Angel Broadcasting for so enho asem wom monko penkai Kwame Sefa kan ne Pradom Ochre and the future yamo memo kakra and memo kakra okay ma memo kakra pacho ya ntem entena mi bi momo ya ye na but we should be able to Kwame Sefa kan Yanintem ene adomochre. Okay, so yeah. I'll say it is an undeniable fact that the two gentlemen have become institutions in their respective rights, especially within the media circle. They are undoubtedly part of the pool of great brands the party shall fall on as we move into the future. While Sefakane appears relaxed and waiting for the right time, Paul seems apprehensive anytime Sefakane is brought into the picture. At the level of presidency, there appears to be a groundswell of support for Kwame over Paul anytime communication issues arise. The kitchen cabinet of Nana feels that while Paul is equally known, he has credibility issues to deal with, especially on the conundrum surrounding his withdrawal from the Ghana Law School. Settling on him for the future could create credibility challenges for a ticket in the next government. Nana will convince Sefakane to chair the NCA board. Okay, so but say or MPA, is or MPA, record NCA. Me make am Kwame Sefakane ate. Me see me MPP ni bi antimi yusu me frequency. Aban sesa men nanti abu adwuma penkola be bo. Me ka kire mu straight. Mun twa voice we fan koma Akuffo Addo ne baomia. Aban sesa me obi anu obetumi yusu me frequency. Ene e beda wa pro. Me ne mo be twia me wiase asai. Se muni masantima mponi a me ne mo be twe papa. Mo de ma obi oso me say aban sesa me ntwem police me nko police me ba wadwuma ma penkola be bo se de mo ko se me de no o de mo be hu gan me pe ba omi side no nka me de awie amamo me pe ba omi side no pacho just last point on ba omi na me de awie. Okay, so omu raise issues about how to pack the courts you know so omo eguso a omo ye 0.5 omo raise issues about how to pack the courts. Then finally in Route 39 Bobie Ansah side no in Route 39, but they mentioned about 34. We are 34 and I have 5 pages. 5 pages. All right. So far, Hunter,
okay.
This is it. Overview. Kakra itimi ye ema omanfo on ejapade. The point is asembia omaka aka 5 pages. Unfortunately, me produce and me am fans so.
They didn't come amin chia etie for ne ahwefo. Na de bia me kase me hwede hu susuye da Akuffo Addo amamu ene Akuffo amamu ntem because the value is the same. The only difference I made to media to ntem ni say Akuffo de adwen ton ho Akuffo Addo de adwen woni bi ene de aton. By the end of the day in Ghana will lose. Difference in any. MPP ideology property owning democracy. Yeme preja padie. Yeme fumeja padie. Yenya yehu ye na yenko. And as part of the strategy, my ideology is say government has no business doing business. Enti enye aban adwuma ne say obeye adwuma edisi kabeba. Eya ankra na waso omo ye adwuma no mo disika edeba. Enti ukofa omampeni dada Akuffo amamu a de Akuffo Addo ye japade de omampeni Akuffo ye ni omampeni Akuffo create billionaires under his 8-year term as president. Na de omampeni Akuffo ye ni say most of the state institutions are na oman Ghana etimi generate income de maye no omampeni Akuffo make sure say ya weekend ni nyina ya collapse ni nyina ena ye ma private sector in the name of private sector and the individuals invest in that sector ena omo no sika na nka oman no betumi enya no kodi omo nsam. One of them the transport sector no omampeni Akuffo ba na ye wo Ghana Airways ana ye adwuma omampeni Akuffo free so ne ni Ghana Airways bio ye to de ma ankra adwuma ku na ye free so omo betumi amanage omantumi amanage ena eguye enti afi kra de couldn't enti na wokọ airport residential bon say Ghana Airways for dano isi ho. The same transport sector no omampeni Akuffo bae no na ye wo STC a na adwuma STC no egu no yegu STC no ne hu say this private transport services ti say OA ni VIP ni de keka ka hu ni nyina no betiki sa business no eno mo erane. Even when Mahama Baya or making sure say yensa and revive STC no. Ebesi na STC ntimi nyina na so because na dan Akuffo Addo emobaye no. Omo make sure say STC ni asa prapram na pre. Say the be the private sector omo wo transport sector na mainly MPP investors no they will make money. Even under Mahama okofa ayalolo de baye no okofa ayalolo baye ayalolo no na eba be ye adwuma se bi trotra na nka timo nso to na bu eba be yin nyina efe system no mu ama for the first time Ghana wote trotro mu a se bi nso to emo wote trotro mu a wotimi hwe TV wotimi charge your phone one man one seat very spacious HS electronic disability for the no and tan say na embeboa ema GPRT your leadership near MPP ntino GPR2 stood against Mahama Ayalolo. And when Akuffo Addo taking over no and your grande Ayalolo basis nina. And for the past 6 years Ayalolo basis na nya dwabim. Say the be ya be ma MPP financiers do no atoto trotro. Mode ye GPR2 your mode trotro no. Omo business ni be grow. And this is how smartly, wickedly but smartly Akuffo making sure so creating billionaires at the expense of taxpayers' money. Taxpayers into collapse aban adwuma no a edisi kaba no a na private sectors no MPP financiers no na omo na create businesses to fill in the gap, then they get money. This is what Akuffo did. But Akuffo Addo the one nim nyansa ntino wono ne de wo fa ba adwuma ni nyina no de amam. That's the difference between Musem. That's the difference between Akuffo Addo and Kufuor. But at the end of the day, no, the victim is always the same. Ghana. We are the victims. Ye but they will make money. And ti Akuffo Addo de no, just say, oh no, oni adwo ade betena se hu say, okay, ye pese e former goodie no. Yensu ye benya bi kwa be na betimi afa so a ye be ya ase bi ani kura ma ho se de Akuffo ye no enti Akuffo Addo de ani adwe ni nyansa no e wo form
onya so se e ya abro
e na me che se enye abro nana enye se ya abro adwe ni nyansa no e wo form hwe ade ukofa the same omampeni da Akuffo epenso omampeni da Akuffo epenso no eni amahudo bebre sisi ye baaye no omu say Ghana yewo service delivery companies mienu a Ghana for you depending on them water electricity to mampeni Kufuor baaye no yeso e be improve water services e de ama Ghana for na o award contract to a company called Aquavitins for 8 good years.
I think they are from Holland.
Yes, for 8 good years so mo manage Ghana Water Company ye tuomo kasa for 8 good years. But the truth of the matter is say, even yani our capital hampo no, omantimi ama yensuo mpo ama nyina nya bia no. When Professor Mels Mahama came no, and abrogated that contract no. Then Ghana Water Company no ane ese omunya adwuma ekofo abi ba ye omedi esika no. The same Ghana Water Company under the leadership of Mahama Mels no. Etimi kokko expanded pon water treatment. Ema ye ne e won kran ha sei no. First time Lego Medina for bi anyansuo. Ene se hu se ye nuan mo station kura no. Sebi omutubetimi ene ekofa station desalination water project so ba ya ye de nchini nsuo na ye so ne so aye no. Akuffo Addo ba ye no. Kufuor de no ne Kufuor no make sure so company na ode aba no. Eye Aquavitins no. Enye so mo ba be Ghana Water Company adwuma ni nyina o. Na mo no mo partner o na as a service provider. No mo dia and no mo didi hu for 8 years. Akuffo Addo baaye no ana no so target ECG. Akuffo Addo no anya say oh mo me provide service be my take over. Ye take over that ko pay that sorry ya ECG now PDS. Ano mo di be draining company ni sika Ghana sika almost like 6 months. Electricity nyina edi ye. So you see how smartly Kufuor ye at the end of the day Ghana any lusu ye. Sa Aquavitins no ma add any value to Ghana water supply. But we did it for 8 good years. Akuffo Addo the adwin won ninti no. One the ECG no amedi di hu bio. On be take full control. So that is the difference at that momentum. But the end of the day who loses? Ghana ye ni lusu. Ghana any lusu and Ghana will always lose under MPP. It doesn't matter say under Kufuor and I say yeah under Akuffo Addo or Baumia whoever comes. Ghana will always lose because your strategic state institutions biya na na we de nia omo an be kwa ba ma Ghana fo nya biedi over the transport sector. Esa say ya bad the always omo charges omo fair e wo form entimamu ni wo betimi ahenha no kakra. And state transport in the end adwuma gina ne naso enti private sector nafa enti no omo ne control eye fair no whether I like it or not omo ka so matum we ya ne hwenye ye enti utimamu no you will suffer. But anya bia no say ya ban dia ebewo form kakra ama ho atimi ahenha. Enti always MPP feed on Ghanaians.
But what you said this document se bibi wa chira Ghana for enhwe ye wo ho, because it seems like they have been able to manage the system in such a way that people don't see the realities in this document.
Say ebaye no ena omo so enya no kre. So you see ye take ye accept responsibility say it's coming from us and it's our discuss kra na yes. So we won't give you that back in credibility. Say the baby to gina so as in po. But the truth of the matter say adie bi we say mu bia no eye no kre. de omaka so be nyina no omaye de omonka so de omnya esugu so omo eye wonim say nyame adma from next year omo say betoto radio stations and TV stations mu bi because you do election and to was say shutting Crawford down a part of their strategy.
Say crowd they are attacking social media, finding ways and means to be crash and Crawford social media links and make sure say opponents ain't being function on social media.
Smartly Akuffo take over then Akuffo ye no wa adwinti no one collapse the existing radio stations and TV stations o make sure so man Crawford invest MPP for expand o media coverage
ye wo de ne mo mebo nyansapaya me be transfer
no ano expand enti na be competition ma resource wo mo ni resources bia enti be first station back no or affiliate stations all the regions what Accra happy unko ba bia uni affiliate bia smartly. That's how Akuffo did to make sure say we're cramming down the opposition parties. Good station, no, but we are consonanti with Accra and Kwanko Babia, where the Eko Babia. Akuffo Addo nim nyansentino. One on a dear. Matum for 1 year, 2 years. Me ma unya juma. Ye to abawi anu me bio. Ye beto aba masatum. Enti Radio Gold Munti FM 2017 ye gu no. Radio Gold 2019 ye gu no. Ye to abawi ye 2021. Eni ye bie ye. Next year election year. Ye se betutum. Ye tumu wia. Se mahama ba no bebie. Se mahama mebia. Na se MP before na besa tena so a. Ye to abawi no mabie. This is Akuffo Addo's mentality. Anything I make catch or say. Political party biya no e won ideology obia won a plan obia won a blueprint and found leader or the beba the only value beba ne say na na asie Kumasi na me twi Toyota Corolla na o twi Toyota for it is a forerunner say forerunner ye na Kumasi ebia me do port wo mu asa say me car na ase wo fom ntino me slow down o de na jungle car yede na mabuo mu tu betimi abom papa na okọ obekọ akodu na o shocks wo so but as minya abotrenti no ebi a obedu agame ba me de ma bedu na me de no matimi maintain but the end of the day no destination here Kumasi
Maunia emrem yeah so this document if the one for kwai for the year
aba ja dedi kan ya wo se nyina edi kan adia eye nipa bia etimu po ya ode ti asase so enye fe se bio nipa ti wi ase na obe na adwen se obedi ni nua so ahye ne so ama akodu ba bia ebe ti se onu ankasa ni nua se bio wama ni tumi se onna metena ne so no wabe ya akoa na edu ba bia na de ya pa ni se nipa na onu ebu akoa no ana se wama wa ya akoa no o hwe na wo hu ne bobia ne yobia na enka sabi enka yesi hwehwe nkoa kura bia won qualify but na for your secret modak na abasa document we adia omo manual sorry for document there is not a dot a comma any punctuation bia ewo we mu a sabi NCA na say ACA there is not from the forward to the last page obia sabi edi hu adanse e obia nim enioma a omode aye eru anom kwabradofo Pakwesi Anomfimfim, Ora Sedu Agongo, ene mpanifo ahodo a sebio omo abi omo bank. Na kwabra ade ba koya na me ya ewo wiasem ni se elipa bi no mo ho a omo jimia ma omo kura ntimi mfa asetena mu enioma asi pen enye sebi enhwesode enye omo bra mu asiesie emfa mobra enti no omo ni ye omo su ni omo ban eye ade bi a akwete se omo dwen se nantwie podua etimi ka de to even se yakum nantwie awie nantwie podua ne be ka de to anka ne to ekoka konfonsem e be ka konfonsem konfo de podua no e be kura de akowuo ma e de akosie no na de nantwie podua aka konfonsem kosie na me pacho e da so ti atisfasa so
forever
oh ni pe jimia ma and sometimes me kind manual no for the first time. It's something that I call a manual. A government of a criminal syndicate of family and friends, or more a manual. Now that criminal syndicate of family and friends, no, actually, a friend is saying, "Ofori penny fee no." Say, "O share, womo ebusua no." Boni a omo di aye man we na wo hwe the manual na omo develop ye to make sure say omo be gu nipa binum hu fi omo be gu omo animu ase na wo hwe nipa ko na nipa kuo na omo no akotro sa bukuru a from Akuffo Addo wo a wo hwe nanim wo de hwe nipa anim na wo hwe na be de akire wo hwe Gabi abebe dua bi humre no na wo hwe Kofi Asante be di atu ono kura mpa wo se wapo ono kura wo hwe na ne nan no a ehye paboa ni mu a wo hu ne yobia na wo hwe omu kuro mu ho na no se yesu ye akwa bi omu si ne hene na wo hwe nipa bi pa omo awia oman sikadi akosi ahemfie na wo hwe ahemfie no kura omutim no kura mpa utim se ahemfie no kura ahemfie no kura ho ofechen wo mo oya sa nipa kuei nipa tantantan mentimi mo nipa de ba to hwe o mani huhuhu tantantan ni adwene ewo mutim ni nkwasea ni jimi adwene ewo mutirimu a na ohe manual a omo de bu man we ya eya na sometimes utimi tena wa na wakase Nyankopon meda wase sesabi ehia me popra krampo na meni hwe krampo a nyame wadom me nyansa ye Solomon nyansa mentimi fa ni sa nkwasea semsei sebi kabra ewiase obia nim se yenkum dwafo enidwa ene o ma wia aban sa ase kabra same omo kwa asase no betima buba hye obotom dia ko
o de ka wa wuko ena senya me betua o kan yenka o politics
o papa Akuffo Addo wo obia jimi wo de fa ne so obia jimi o kra mpo no kra na unim nyansa unim hwe kra no o papa obeye mampani afi baako bosomi num ceremonial head enti wo de o papa wo de wo ni hwe kura sa wo de beye nsusu de e de asi wani so se o mame emo braway na ebekwa kowie mesan no wo papa na mu no kura mpa obeye mampani afi baako ni mfie bosomi enum no 1 year 5 months ceremonial head sika ne nioma wo wi aye oko wadi koye
odija ne ma te Akuffo Addo so de beja
meba odija ne ma ne kosi sen
ena omugu so omudie
hwe ohun ebinu agimi wo wiase mu a sometimes you tend to want to make it look as if say akoye say oh wadi beja ne ma hwe Akuffo Addo papa hotel menem papa takoda hoda change bed sheet keke change bed sheet keke na mame breakfast empanie menkoda dem de empane ko de emfa wo ho eno kra wantinya ahwe so odi ja ne ba no e kire no enya asresre no be ye ya Ghana for epe kakra ma na nko wo scan kwode be man pani ewi ase ne papa dan kro tim kra se ya your friend is say wa pam kofo adua flowers we anim hoi se ne wo ton cocaine ni mobra o cocaine ni bia ni wo wi ase ma wa bobrada ensida cocaine ni jimi wo pam cocaine ni nya sika se den e be se hia na ma na sresre sana Nyankopɔn obu okoto se wo bu koto kwase a ohwe woto enti no eya na eme ferry sometimes se ebinum adwen ye omo se o mabu Ghana kwase a onyame ehwe woto otumase hwe die ema eye me ya at some point na ebinum a omo wo aban ni mu for bi te say Alan Chere Martin say o di book we ko chere Alan na obeka cho so oboa but ene no me gidi say akonani emre bi Kofi ba send a text message e de book na e ba kane no ekoma pakwesi ndum pakwesi say oh wait this cannot happen ene hwede ye waye ono emu kwa mi ahe na ne kese ya ahe oti ase eti Kofi Amoaben so bi ka kire wo se onu Kofi Amoaben a na nka Akuffo Addo num ko ne ho ko sresre na o madie omu ba be ya ma na ewie ne Sam akuni edu a enko bi adwen ho sa eti no sometimes me hu ne se yen Ghana fo no we are rather the problem. What do I say? Me bana me tiu na obi ka say Ghanaians should show anger after Abaya Sesa. Sabre no go show anger to what? So wo bibi ya ene what's away. What I say? You have nothing to do tomorrow because no the beginning of tomorrow. Tomorrow may not come. What do I say? Yeti hey, atamuda betimi aba. Enti wo bibi se wo be ye pa se wo de bebo akina ho ban a. Ene adwene ne ena ye ka sei. Ya kokotira kan si usu yi. Ya emmoa nipa do ama emmoa edie. Nipa do afuo ama emmoa enkrantie emfui enei agimifo edie ene na wo bibia wo sa wo ye ene na wo ade papa bi a wodwene wo man ho se da achi bi se wuni ho na akina anto wo a e wo se nchirima ebo wudin ka asem ka se oh papa Kwasi ade papa Konto opani Yakubu opani Sami Ukrom hine ye friend is saying Togbe afede opani Otufo ose tutu a otoso mienu opani Kofo opani obia fa papa din hya ho wan kasa so fa odin hyem edie na wo ya enchirima ede be kai wo se wan tra ho a masabi kwasea mu kwasea edie na wo betimi aye ama wo man emusa se me man no so de na obetimi aye ama me wo di ka busa wo ho de wo betimi aye ama wo man edie na obetimi aye age wo man asi ho eno ne ade a ahia se sa buku yi yakenkan ni nyina kanfua ene omo ankasa so mutimi kire otaba wo minasepo because you go ni bank akwai atu ese omo fani ko ese omo fani ko tum say ne kura so omo so atu ese ye na ko tum ye yi na ba beto abonten a onye ex convict it one gabi me ye pe omo epe oti ase enti no edie na ye nyina ye betimi aka ye ho abom etimi aya abo ye man kwabna to some very relevant portions of this document. Where dear me ya pa kwamna baby a also chieftains in dia me penny discussion our radio so bakwara adeɛ bi kɔ so. Now I would want us to avert our minds to it, because politically, beyond even the traditional way, no, some obiye tribe A or B, no, politically, and who was so. Oh, say there is this belief, say, Nana Domahini,
NDC,
pro NDC. Or criticize your by way, papa, meboa.
Yeah.
But everyone also remembers, say, Nana Domahini call Jubilee House, no. He was warmly welcome. And Obia nim statements are if Akuffo Addo ano baye, Obia nim enioma o kafa ne ho. O chese onim abakosem, Obia nim meboa.
Yeah.
Obia nso nim ensem a waka afa sabi asanteman ho. Wabra na asanteman kan no, yen Canada. Me he is one person I admire. Obia fa no, Obia nko kan se doma enye ekuro eno yakasa ne hene. But obia nim nsem a wakafa probia ho. Kwabra obia nim sabi obia nim ni kuro ma bakosem. Obia nso fa ne sabonkum entene ne fie ne kuro kwan. Enti sabi se ukoka wei asantini bi ti baabi ono so akoka wei otu 40 baabi ono so akoka bi ebe wi ase no ade a ese fata se e wo se nke ye nyina ye kan yahubo mu no na ya ma ho kwan na this manual ya eyen kwasiafo manual yi agimifo manual yi emmoa manual yi ya emmoa omutimi sisa oman sika na omutimi de asi e fe ne sen ahemfie omutimi mo bra kra nsi ahemfie emmoa no manual yi na agege yenya de ya konso hwem ebe wi ase no wo nka wo history obi history efa wo ho ben mimeti hai mintimi nka se menya asantini da na so kwabra nim se me madafo pa me chocho mucho sabi ofiri doma eti se wo ohene mua wo se nka wo na ntie achi na nka sabi o nkola die se wo wensu anyansa me na me mekire onyansa wo radio so ana ewi ase ene sampafo asemi omo na di omo kuro se omo pe so omo pe kwabna otu 14 baabi ya sampafo akọ se omo kwa akọ so ayo so omo koye den yo me kwabna me fa ho sampa media o hwe ohini ni din a asante din otu fo bodua na dagoma fo hene ba ho a me pacho o se obi so omra ne ho enti se sabi uni sa opepa ni bi se bi a wo so be yes ha ne o mani bi na sabi asakura no umpese obesua ba kosem ne nioma enioma ni bi wo a eni kwansi asoso so kura epanifo si brebra ma e kamane ama uni ma ba kosem a kanwo wo dem obi anim ni kuro masem me nye domani se me kodoma na me kwakire o mase a e wo so mde suturo ja me kwan enya na ba kira santi ase konfono che ye nkonya no na obi ani hobi wo mo ano mo ho no ma tro na ye nyina ye kenkan bi o mo ka bakosem na ye tie bi enti no se koduru se wo ko se ayese se no wo be se MPP ni bi na o de we se John Muhammad na se na ti no o kekan sem fun kira asantefo kwabra se wati bi
oh yeah
now ekoba sa na John Muhammad ti ne ba bie no eni dia wo de ma asante hene eni dia wo de ma krobia no eni ano ebe wi ase no na sa fucking manual yi kwasia manual jimi manual yi enumu o kan the traditional ayina ade a ebetimi aye a yebetimi aye a ebema asante hene ani monyamo aba fom ewom na mi ko hu sa de we ya ukrom kura enura so ase kumasi aso ase a me kura betimi agina ho adwo so otwa ho ahia enu kura gban wie sika ka mutimi nsi ahemfie zongo development for sika na mo de akwa kosi your friend is saying your friend is
astrotef
zongo development for sika ese mu ye zongo for kra na ye kra ni enim enu nam dia kosi astrotef etino enya dia ni ewo se so da eya dia ebo man sadie we nioma ewo mu no eye treasonable offenses ebo man ebo kro ehye man we so obi hu se na poku atro bibi se da chi bi me so me beye mampani a me so me bre obi di ase me hyehyɛ nioma ma obi ani magu ase magu obi adwuma a ɛwɔ se yɛde me kɔto afiase ade we ɛno nti na ɔmo hu the offenses ɛwɔ saa nioma we mu no ɔmo bɛtwe ɔmo hu free ho no na sɛ me sɛ bio me di ofori panyi edi a obobo ye ɛno ɛne cockroaches edi a obobo ye me di wo oh etino we have to condemn it and make sure say book way into a foreseeable future you be investigated to the core and almost we achi and how they were able to kwabra the efan say ade we book way enye obia na tro enye omo na tro ye ene ni po tro book a prophet I will say hwehwe ne ebo na baso because everything here esi anase egusu a esie nipa otro buku yi ana oye prophet ana oye okonfo oh eti ya omi nyai sa nioma ne sa chief tansi nioma no otufo obi aniwa sebi o ka kire obi me ya santini enye me ya santini gina me kan me 10 year I would have been proud like Ibrahim registers his car 10. Hey, me who can and me rough. You have to be proud of yourself. Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself? Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself? Why are you not proud of yourself? You can never change it. Me meet me nkasa menya santini biem. Se me metimi akasa menya santini biem akwa na onim tribe anka mepe. Kampese me yekusase ni. Na me pia bonti na me ton wenam tetan tinam pia for your na. For ton so matingo tinam pia for you. Pepe, I'm proud. Me ko ye no. Ade a me ko sua ye no. Ewo boko. Me refi da. I'm proud. Say ne obi kire me pa se na esika ho sa kwabra hwa me nkatwi biem. De manage ho no. Obi kire me nkran a, me dru ba bi na me hu nkran for so mo kan nkran a. Kwabra I take so much pride in it. Say, we are a very diverse people, very diverse. I haven't seen any country have so many languages like we do in Ghana. But look at how we, in unity, in unison, believe, say, let us all rally behind our flag, Ghana. Your national anthem. Look at how we are all in one accord, singing the anthem. Look at how we do. Just because ohini bia ko Buckingham Palace so okore Queen Elizabeth okoye no and ebusa ne say is the king aware of your coming and first reception wow ya manantra second reception first reception wow and ebusa ne say is the king aware of your coming also I'm also a king and also no in Ghana we only know of one king oba no obey signboard ko si ne junction so ayi echebi hine no say Jesus is the only king. So why were you then referring yourself to as a king? Eh nyankopon na reche. Ye kra ye tigam he kwabna hwe community ba akumu. Ahemfie no efrabusua ba akubum enti sanka busua bi foforo so te ba bi kase yeso ebu afu ya mamu ni yeso a ekede ne bekwa kosie because enne abusua bi betimi atena do ma aka se no adan ne yatena ho ama we mu na eye ehene esa ye hema mebua enu ti no eye fe na efe se wo your hene because wa hene na wudie no na otufo na nyom ye ne daja ye to se obi nya se bia anka obeye bi eye nyame ama eti atina bi na se bia kwabna Bobie Ansah ti wei wuso se wuso wo akonya wo fie na wudi wakonya na pokuma bana mabebo mu asem makoha mentoma me se aden na kwabna eye hene na me kwa kosom no da bi eye nyame ama eti ebe sramo sa nuoma no free her and my mum kwasi afọ se some adwene munyansa adwene no Domahini is too intelligent to fall for some of these things.
All right, I'll come back.
I will plead with each and every one of them, and I will end by telling me sumikrum mehine ohine krobia ayirefia santekotoko se nana bibia ni a sabio obi funkum so a panifo se enya den
emfumunwa. All right,
timumi enhwe na yemma sa nneoma wei ya eye jimi emmefrafra ya brabo bibia omo ye bia omo ya we obi akosi hene hwe kwabra mami no asem bi wo wa hu ya hwe se ensem ekoso wo ekropon wi kwabra se yan kanyame enanya dopa na yedo ye ho a ekantokwa e de beba nkan tokwa kitwa hwe sana ya nanom de ne nyoma entino mesre. Let us be what we are. It's God that made us who we are, and I pray say God will make us bigger and stronger and come against all these demonic.
All right, thank you. Now, quick one. Hello.
Hello.
Mame.
Yes, Papa.
Afa say.
What's that? 1,000 who? I found a song.
Say 10 million.
1,000 Ghana.
1,000 Ghana.
My son of some boko.
Nem fi friend na tell sano.
Mother, let them get on.
Yeah. Adam.
What's that? My son of boko.
Nyamin shram. Congrats. Amen. That's it. All right. Me pacho Seahorse 50/50 engine coolant. One yibia, one hopa. Greenfield Scientific Bar Clinic, Domase. Quick credit phone ye. Police near draw in booster bar mesha. One go. I energy drink numbi. Top choco. Yenwa nyampumde. But na I say Nanka hontoso person can semtre easy phone no. Aye friends assembly for person can sembi. Also,
I'm Mekrano.
Also, my
a lot about the assembly elections, and I'm if you say, Enka, you're doing home temwa and can
also my bonnet.
Yeah, because only himself for the first time.
Also, my bonnet.
And this are winning war, baby. Ebisida persons that are supposed to be
affiliated,
not affiliated, just but pro NDC candidates. Our Moko Assembly elections for the first time, Joulu, out of the 13, no, they got
9.
Is this 7 or
no?
8,
No more 4 that
out
number
of
5 count.
No, they are saying they didn't have any.
No more be.
Okay, so but for the first time, Joulu Central, electoral area,
so one Central Mosque no ayekon
Sydney Arene and places in Kumasi a Ensida Asqua areas and I had a list but unfortunately no and I discuss and last but not the least Kwabra sa to trust them na ekoso no ebisi wo takwa dumping and you see it's good that we are aware of such plans because that's their plan. That's their plan. It's their modus operandi. But we want to assure them, say, I won't talk to the NDC. I'm going into the next election like a rebel who is wounded, like a lion who is wounded. And I will make sure, say, Obi a odi be able to. And now we are soldier ni we are police ni we are vigilante o ba me pacho kra. Mo abusuafo empe funu that can see fie because won ko biem
anyway
won ko fie biem because we will meet you squarely
the time now so and I think we need to go live on Accra 100.5. Thank you so much. We are out.
Quick credit say sika pe enna form
story a OTCC no a platform I friend PENDREAM TV and I uti story no na o feedback hu here empa story our tie no any story be our platform no so be our tie o pese o my feedback no fafa WhatsApp message or WhatsApp number 0277128777 na yebebo e wo Pendream FM Agana fo nyina ate won ka
Debi kama mamena Pendream TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases Pendream TV